Yes. I fall in love with myself, and I want someone to share it with me. I want someone to share me with me.
I love Eartha Kitt, and I love this quote by Eartha Kitt. It's all about falling in love with yourself and sharing that love with someone who appreciates you, rather than looking for love to compensate for a self-love deficit. It's all about falling in love with yourself and sharing that love with someone who appreciates you, rather than looking for love to compensate for a self-love deficit. Hi, welcome to Kick-Ass Switch, putting the K in Magic. I'm Joanna DeVoe, and you are watching Magic on the Go, number 3, How to Cast Your Own Self-Love Spell. And really, this is an activation process that you can use any day, every day, all day, as often as you need it, anytime you need an extra boost of self-love. One of the many magical things about self-love is that it invites you to be fully embodied and present in the moment, because there is no need to escape yourself when you're really grooving on the self-love and feeling yourself. So that is one benefit, because the present moment is your point of power as a deliberate creator. Another great thing about self-love is it's really about taking your power back. Not that anybody took your power, but we tend to give our power away to other people. We are looking for other people, whether it is a romantic partner, our friends, our coworkers, even if you're a content creator, the audience you're trying to connect with. We put our power outside ourselves and ask other people to reflect it back at us. Love me, love me, love me, love me, love me, love me, please. When the real power is power from within that comes from self-love. So when you do get into a relationship with someone, as Eartha Kitt so succinctly said, you're not compensating for a self-love deficit. You are whole. You're meeting that person in that relationship from a place of wholeness. So a lot can be said about self-love, and a lot has been said about self-love. I'm actually not here to convince you why should we love ourselves? I'll save that for another day. This video is about creating an activation process for yourself so that you can keep the self-love growing. The thing about once you start recognizing that there is a self-love deficit within you and you start courting self-love, I think the first initial stages are like, what is self-love? And why self-love? And is it selfish? Once you make it through those stages, it's a process. It's a process, and if you stick with it year after year, it goes deeper and deeper and deeper, and ultimately it liberates you, and your life becomes more joyful, because it's really about honoring and recognizing that your life is a gift. You are a gift. You are a drop of the divine. You are an expression of the divine, a unique expression of the divine. And if you're blocking the flow of that expression with self-hatred, with a self-love deficiency, you aren't honoring that gift. So the more you honor it, the more you get in flow with it, the more you fully embody and like, yes, I am awesome because I am divine, and I love this life I have been given, and I love myself. I love myself. I love myself. And I know just saying that is confrontational for some people. But the more you get into that, the more joyful your life becomes. It's the thing, too, that allows you to set healthy boundaries with other people, because most of us are operating from a self-love deficit. And when you don't love yourself, you tend to act out and like poke other people looking for a reaction. And the more self-love you have, the more immune you are to that kind of poking. So having said all of that, let me share with you this simple activation process that you can do anywhere. This is very much inspired by Eartha Kitt, saying that she wants someone to share her love, her self-love. She wants to be in a relationship with someone who loves that she loves herself and wants to share that love with her. And I think in a healthy relationship, that goes both ways. And what's it like when you really love somebody? You're looking at all the little things, like if you're a parent and your kid is doing something cute, and you're like, oh, I just love that, that's so cute. Or when you're in a new romantic relationship, everything that person does is so adorable or sexy or whatever. Love is expressed in like these tiny little moments. And so what I'm asking you to do with this activation process is to start doing that for yourself and to really just capitalize and harness any moment in which you find yourself feeling good. And for me, the way that this often expresses itself is I just catch myself like dancing or with like a little smile on my face, or I'm like singing to myself when I do dishes. So anytime you catch yourself doing something like that, like stop, drop, and roll and be like, what am I doing right now? What am I happy about? Am I just like feeling myself today or what? And then you want to say something like this. I love this about myself. I love that about myself. And I invite you to love it too. And this you is vague. This you is the world. This you is a romantic partner. This you is everybody. You. And it's not that I need you to love this about me. It's that I'm inviting you to this awesome party. I'm inviting you to love this about me. And the people who choose to accept that invitation are my people. So you say, I love this about myself. I love this about myself. And I invite you to love it too. If you have a hard time saying, I love this about myself, or I love myself, start just like ease your way in and start saying, oh my gosh, I love this about my life, or I love this about this life. I just love this about life. And I invite you to love it with me. It might be worth too taking some time to actually create a list of things that you love about yourself. And each thing you put on it, you can be like, yes, I love that about myself. And I invite you to love it too. And this kind of project can be twofold in the benefits. One, you might just create an awesome long list. It might be helpful to start with like the physical attributes that you love. I love my big brown eyes. I love my sturdy, strong legs. I love my shiny black hair. Or if you have problems acknowledging physical traits that you love, maybe focus on your personality. I love my sense of humor. I love that I'm always there for my friends. I love that I'm punctual, just like little things like that. So if you have an awesome long list, perfect. That's a great starting point, and I encourage you to add to it. If you sit there with a blank piece of paper and you really struggle over it, that's good too, because it's showing you that there's a massive self-love deficit going on, and that's something that you need to do some work there, and it's a starting point. And again, if you're having a hard time saying I love this about myself, you can say I love this about life, and I invite you to love it with me. So here's the really fun activation part that really drives this in. If you read my ebook, it is free. Go to my website if you don't have a copy of it. Hippie Witch, Peace, Love, and all that good shit. It outlines 7 steps to creating a rockin' sense of self-love. One of those steps is AA, and it's pairing an affirmation with an action. So we are going to build on that here today, and the action is this. This is your thymus gland. I'm standing higher so you can see. It's its own chakra. It has its own special energy. It's not one of the main 7 chakras that are often depicted in books, but it is a main chakra. The thymus gland is a major gland in the endocrine system, and it puts out its own special kind of energy. It is known as the higher heart, or the seat of the soul, or the ascended Heart, it is the bridge between your heart chakra and your throat chakra. So it's the bridge between love coming from a heart space and self-expression. So I think it's an awesome thing to pair with this affirmation because you are coming from a heart space and you're expressing yourself from that space. And the thymus gland is fascinating. It's responsible for the production of T cells. It promotes immunity. It strengthens your immune system to thump. Some people thump right here. Some people rub right here. Some people tap around. The way that I'm doing this is to tap right here, but you can just experiment it. I'm just tapping. You can experiment with what works for you. And it's really, I can feel a bump right here. Not everybody can, but it's like this bump at the top of your rib cage, kind of right in between your heart and your throat. Some people feel it to one side or the other. You can just feel around right there. And literally, energetic medicine aside, tapping on that does boost your immune system and it really lifts your energy. And that's a benefit. That's an awesome bonus too. So you just want to tap on yourself like all through the day. Anytime you catch yourself doing something that puts that little smile on your face or a little pep in your step or makes you feel good about yourself. And you just say, I love this about myself. And I invite you to love it too. I love this about myself. And I invite you to love it too. Sorry, my ring is rattling around. I love this about myself, and I invite you to love it too. The more often you do something like this, the more deeply you are programming it into your system and sending that message. So if you've done it for a long time, you don't even need to say the affirmation. It just becomes like, when people are in certain audiences will be instructed that instead of clapping or cheering, they're going to snap or like wave their hands instead of making a lot of noise. It kind of becomes like that message to your subconscious. So you're not even using the affirmation at one point. You're just going like this, which is a very comforting thing to do, by the way. Even just talking to you, it just feels good. So even without the affirmation, you're still sending that message to yourself that you love yourself. You love yourself, and you invite the whole world to love that about you too. And again, you don't need anybody else to love it, but you're inviting them to do so. And the people that accept the invitation to that party are the people for you. So what do you think? Is this something that you might try? It's definitely something I made up. It was inspired by Eartha Kitt. I just love her. She is a woman who, throughout the decades of her life, learned to develop self-love as she went along. She had a very sassy, fierce, brassy facade, and as she got older, she grew into that and down into a more grounded sense of self-love. She remained fierce. She remained sassy throughout the whole of her life. But it's fun when you look at her life to watch her own self-love catch up with the love that the world felt for her. And again, if you don't have a copy of Hippie Witch, it's a free ebook. It outlines 7 steps to creating a kick-ass sense of self-love, and you can get it for free. Just follow the link around here, wherever it is. Much, much love, much self-love to you. Peace.